What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is Married to Medicine Season 2, Episode 9. Now, next week is the season finale, but I'm going to be honest with you. Honestly, this could have been the season finale. Like, I don't know, this could have been the season finale because the end of this episode, this whole episode was so good. And by the time you got to the end, you were just in such a good place with these ladies that I just feel like we could have left it there. But y'all know they can't do that. Anyway, we are still on the ciscation, I think is what Dr. Amani is calling it. And the ladies are really, truly rallying around Amani. What I didn't realize last week was that each lady has chosen an activity. And so, you know, you had the sexy lingerie party. I think that was Shanique. Jasmine is they're doing one of those cycling things. We've all seen it. All the different shows have done it. I actually almost did one when I was in Indianapolis, and then I changed my mind. No, man. But while we're on the cycling, y'all already know what went down. I don't even need to tell y'all. Jasmine got on everybody's nerves about the exercise, and especially Dr. Kendra. Kendra is having a good time. She's dancing. She's laughing. And Jasmine keeps saying to her about how she's not pedaling enough and not hard enough, and why, you know, this is a perfect opportunity for her to exercise and for her to drink. And let me say this. Jasmine got on my nerves with this whole situation too. I've already talked about it. I don't need to dwell on it again. But I will say this. To be fair to Jasmine, Kendra asked Jasmine to not just give her advice, which is what I kind of thought was going on at the beginning, but she actually took her on as a client. So if this is your client and your job is to help her lead a healthier lifestyle, you're not just a friend that's looking for help. You're paying me to tell you to exercise. You're paying me to tell you not to eat that. You're paying me to tell you to eat that. And I think that I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Kendra ain't ready. Kendra's just not ready for this level of intensity when it comes to her health, her lifestyle. Jasmine's approach will work for people who are ready. Jasmine's approach will work for people who are ready. I just leave it at that. And at the end of the day, they decided that they just she should no longer be her client. And everybody agreed. And Jasmine was like, you know what? Actually, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine with us not. And, you know, she said, lesson learned, I will not take on a friend as a client again. And so when she was talking like that, I had to kind of say, okay, I see it from Jasmine's point of view. The other thing, and listen, let me say this. This is my opinion. My opinion only. I have not been to anybody's medical school. I have not done any extensive studies on this topic. But this is my opinion and my opinion only. I really, truly believe Jasmine has an eating disorder. She has a very, very unhealthy relationship with food. She has a very unhealthy view of her body. And what I mean by that is, I know she knows she's thin and sexy. That's not my point. But I really, truly feel like she thinks that she has to balance out what she's putting in her body and what's going out of her body in order to maintain what it is. I remember looking at an episode of CSI, and this might get a little graphic, so it was an episode of CSI, and a lady died. Obviously it was CSI. But they found this diary. They found out, to make a long story short, they found out that she had an eating disorder, and they found this diary, and they were trying to figure out what this diary was. And what the diary was, this is how intense this woman was in her disorder. She weighed her food. Anything she put in her mouth, she weighed it, and she kept it in her diary. She also weighed her waist. And if the waist didn't equal if the outgoing didn't equal the incoming, then she went into some other stuff. She got into some other things, you know, as far as like cutting and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, when I see the obsessiveness of Jasmine paying attention to, like they had, like at one point they were eating breakfast and there was a biscuit. And instead of her eating she didn't eat the biscuit, but she took a little bit of the jam and ate that. And I was like, that is just, there's a lot, her having her own serving cups, her checking her blood sugar. There are people who are diabetic who don't even want to check their blood sugar. And you're voluntarily checking your blood sugar 3 times a day to make sure that your body is in fat burning mode. There's got to be something not healthy about that. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Then when they went to the restaurant to eat, she got up to go to the bathroom. Now, she got up to go to the bathroom because, I'll get to that in a minute, because part of what she was doing, she was playing games with Leah. But again, I just had to give a side eye, like, so before the food comes, you run into the bathroom? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. That's my 2 cents. Like I said, that is not based on any medical evidence. That is just only me looking at what they've shown me, making a conclusion. Drawing a conclusion, I should say. So anyway, so they had a good time. Like I said, that was the big outcome from that. So then they were going to dinner that night. And it was Leia's event, and her dinner was labels. The whole theme of the dinner was for everybody to wear their designer clothes and wear their labels. Now, there were many different ways to word that, and you would have probably gotten the same results. You could have said wear your best after 5 cocktail dress. There were a lot of different ways that you could do that without making it a designer label thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I wear labels. I mean, I clearly don't wear the label. I mean, I can't afford a Versace outfit, like Dr. Kendra had on Versace down to the socks, okay? And she said if Versace made underwear in her size, she'd have those on too. Now, clearly I don't have that budget. But I just thought that was a bit shallow. And I'm not even mad at Jasmine, because what Jasmine did was Jasmine said, I don't wear my labels. And I had this conversation in one of my lives before when I was talking about people, who don't wear labels. Like that's that real, the logo stuff, that's our stuff. The Fendi, that's the Fendi dress where it's just a label in the back and you just got to know that it was on the runway in Paris and know that it's Fendi. You see what I'm saying? So Jasmine decided, she said, well, first of all, she already, she ain't feeling Miss Leia anyway. But she was like, I'm going to wear my label. And she put on one of her logos for her business, and that's the t-shirt that she wore. Now, she made a big deal about it because she wore this big old fur coat. And then that's when she went to the bathroom and took the coat off so that she could come back in her label. And Leia really got irritated by it and was like, I mean, you can't follow the rules. And I didn't want to wear sexy lingerie, but I did. And I followed the rules. I mean, you just did what you wanted to do. And I was like, but she did follow the rules. She wore a label. It just happened to be hers. And why shouldn't she? It's her business. It's her company. Why shouldn't she wear her own logo? I would. I would now. Jasmine do a lot of stuff to irritate me, but on that one, I was with her. I wasn't mad at Jasmine at all. I said, girl, you better do that. And Shanique was wearing, she couldn't even pronounce her designer. Like, to me, it just was shallow. Like, you're wearing Michael Costello from Project Runway, I believe it's from, and you can't even pronounce it. So, like, I'm not impressed I'm not impressed with the labels and you can't even pronounce half the labels you're wearing. Like, I'm not. Anyway. And Dr. Monty even said that. She said, you go, She said, Jasmine, I ain't even mad at you. You go, girl. And I'm not either. Like I said, Jasmine does a lot of stuff to irritate me, but that ain't one of them. I was with Jasmine on this one. On this one, I was with Jasmine, child. But Leah was irritated. Ooh, she was so irritated. Ooh, it was irritating her. Now, while they were at dinner, Shanique made it known that she didn't like her gift. And Britt was like, I was always taught that you just take gifts and you're just gracious and you're just happy that you got a gift. And Shanique was like, but I think everybody else's gift, and I just think that my gift wasn't special, and I wanted to feel special. Shanique, Again, do I think it was the best gift in the world? No, I don't. I don't. It was a dumb gift. But it is what it is. Just be happy that you got a gift and keep it moving. Because, like I said, your friend forgot to even buy her person a gift, and just picked up something she had in her house. At least Amani thought about you and picked up something that made her think of you. Anyway, then they got knocked a bunch of damn dicks. And Jasmine was like, "Well, you the one told us you ain't had no dick in 5 years." Now, in my last review, I guess I just didn't want to wrap my brain around the fact that they've been in the marriage for 5 years and they ain't had sex. But it kept coming up, so I guess that's what Amani was actually saying. I was thinking she was saying like they haven't been intimate, like it's the passion, like they had sex, but it was lackluster. It was just they were going through the motions. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. What I can't imagine, if neither one of us are sick. Now again, if you sick or I'm sick, that's the whole thing. But if neither one of us are sick, ain't no way in hell I'm sleeping next to you for 5 years and we ain't doing nothing. And that just tell you that ain't gonna happen. So Dr. Amani, you better than me, baby. You better than me. But she just, like I said, she admitted that she just wasn't happy, and she just stayed in an unhappy situation. So then they left there, and it was Britt's turn for what she chose, and she chose the drag show, honey. So they were on their way to the drag show. Now, Palm Springs has a large gay community, so I was expecting that they would have like some RuPaul Drag Race alum level drag show going on. They clearly were there on Senior Citizen Night. And no disrespect to the senior citizens, but I'm sure they were expecting something else. But you know what? They turned it out. And that's a true testament of when you are just among good company, because you can walk into any situation and turn it out. Okay? I remember me and my cousin and myself, we were in St. Martin one time, and we went to this piano bar, and I swear the piano player was Billy Joel. It was Piano Man himself. I swear he looked just like Billy Joel. Like I swear he did. And this is and we were there, and it was wasn't a whole lot of people there. We were at a piano bar, and it was it was some sisters there that were on vacation. Like, I mean, they were blood sisters there on vacation. We were only sisters, if you know what I'm saying, in the room. And when I tell you we turned that thing out, we shut that bar down, and we had ourselves a good time in the process. And somebody was dancing on the bar before the night was over. I'm not going to say who it was, but somebody was up there. And so when you are among good people, you can make a good time. And they had a good time. They did. Dr. Amani took the mic at one point and let the people know that she wasn't just beautiful, because she ended up dancing with the drag queens and everything else. And she said, "I'm not just beautiful, I am a doctor. And I'm this and I'm that. And yes, I've had a little plastic surgery. I just paid off my I mean, and she said, but you believe in yourself, you too can be what I am." I mean, it was a moment, and you truly saw Amani let her, proverbial hair down, and she was dancing, and they were giving dollars, and they were throwing the dollars back and forth, and they were having a good time. Now, let me rewind for a quick second. Back at dinner, conversation came up about Jasmine not being open to the rest of the group, and how she just doesn't share, and she's just not really open to them. And she said, I do. I have a wall. And she said, she acknowledged it, and they brought up the whole thing about the husbands. And she said, and she admitted that it does bother her that her husband doesn't come to any of the events. She said, how do you think I feel when we're at the different events and everybody's husband is there except for mine? She said, it does bother me. Like, I do want to, be with the rest of the, have my husband there. She said, but at a certain point, I'm gonna let him know that he gonna have to show and prove. But I was just like, but if he don't want to be on the show, he don't want to be on the show. But anyway, but she did open up a little bit. She did open up a little bit at dinner. So, they did all of that. And like I said, they had a good time. They truly, truly were in a good place. They were laughing. They were joking. There was no sniping. There was no, you know, I'm talking about back at the strip. I mean, not strip club, the drag bar, and they got on the bus. They came home, honey. They was half drunk, falling all over the place. And Shanique, Jasmine, and Leia ended up getting in the hot tub. Now let me tell you something. Leia's a little weed head, child, because they was out there smoking weed. Now we ain't never. Now Shanique is from Jamaica, but we ain't seen Shanique and Jasmine smoking weed before this Miss Leia comes along. I don't know. She might be a bad influence, but what the good thing was is that they bonded. Jasmine and Leia had a moment. They had an opportunity to talk. They had an opportunity to really get to know each other, and they even said that the next morning over breakfast that they had a good conversation, and they were able to really clear the air and really get some things out and really truly see each other. And so I thought that was great. I thought that was really of great of them. And the guys back home, all the guys went out to hang out. Hobart, Mac, and Shanique's husband. Oh, Lord. Shanique's husband. And Hobart actually shared with them how he felt about Kendra going back to work. And he said to him, he feels as though she's sort of throwing the baby away. Like, here, you take the baby. I want to get back to my life. Like, he said he's almost taking it as if she doesn't want to have the baby. And they were like, you know, the other two guys were like, whoa. Like, no. And he said, you know, she's trying to act like I'm being all traditional and I'm being, you know, but that's not it. Like, I really, truly, you know, I don't want her to go back to work yet. I think she needs to stay home with the kid. And they told him, they said, listen, you are dealing with a sister. And you can think it, but you better not say that. You can think it all you want, but don't say that, you know. And he was like, I hear you. They were like, but that's not it. They like, you know, you can feel that way, but don't tell her that that's how you feel, because that's not what it is. Like, you know, she loves her child. You know, she wants to be with her child. Like, that's not it. So, but we got to hear Hobart's side of the story and understand where he's coming from. But that's how he's feeling. He's feeling like, I don't understand why you're in such a rush. You got this beautiful baby. Why you don't want to stay home? So anyway, the ladies have two very good conversations. Once again, like I said, this was just really, really good. Dr. Amani ends up having a conversation with Shanique, and Shanique opens up to her about wanting to make the career change and get into real estate and things like that. And Dr. Amani has a really good conversation with her and tells her, like, listen, like, nobody wants to stay the same. It's nothing wrong with you wanting to change, and it's okay to be scared of failure, because that's what it is. She said, I've had a really hard year and I've had to make some really serious decisions and step out of my comfort zone. But that's what we're supposed to do, you know. And you may stumble, but we're not going to let you fall. And she said, but I just feel so guilty about my kids and not being a great wife. And she said, guilt is a wasted emotion. She said, yeah, but it's natural. She said, no, it's natural. It is natural to feel guilty. She said, but it is wasted. Like, you can feel guilty, and at the end of the day, it's going to be what it's going to be. She said, but you can't stay stagnant. So they had a moment. I mean, they were crying. Well, Shanique was crying. But it was a great moment. And Dr. Amani was using them psychiatrist skills, honey. It was beautiful. It was a great moment. Now, on the outside, we had Jasmine, Britton, and Dr. Kendra. And they were having a great conversation. Dr. Kendra was telling them that she's going to take this job. And Britt was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. She told him about how he doesn't want her to take the job and how, you know, and Brittany was like, well, why did you even go on the interview without talking to him first? Like, explain that. And she said, well, because he asked a lot of questions and I needed to make sure I had all of the answers before I presented it to him. Dr. Britt was like, okay, cool. So I get that. She said, and when you presented it to him, he didn't like the idea. He wasn't cool with it. And y'all ended up having an argument. She was like, yeah. She said, but you're going to take the job anyway and not talk to him about it? You're just going to accept the job without... She said, She said, that is a recipe for disaster and you asking for problems. And Dr. Britton was like, she said, even with me moving to LA, that wasn't... I didn't make that decision unilaterally. I didn't make that decision without including my husband. Or he would, you know, like, I didn't just do it and he just jumped on board. Like, he was on board with the whole thing. the timeline was an issue, but not us moving. She said, well, what about, she said, Kendra is willing to ask for forgiveness than for permission. And that's a problem. Because you're going to make this decision. And they told her, girl, no. Now I hope it sunk in, because they were giving her some good advice. So I hope it sunk in that is not the answer. But we'll see. Anyway, it was a great, great episode, you guys. It was really good. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.